We're back underway here at Martin Ice Arena, and Lake Superior State just 6 seconds in throws this down the ice for icing here. And so the draw will come back to the right of Burton.
Yeah, strong first period, Reagan. We talked about it in the intermission report. The face-offs were so much better for CMU right here. It looks like they're going to leave off where they left off really well, once again, in this face-off circle.
And they win that draw, but it was just too far for their defenseman. Now look out, Nadeau over the line with a pass on the defensive end. Works in a shot and ripped it wide.
Now, one thing I'm going to look for in this period is where do they spread the wealth. They talked about it being in the pregame show, all four lines. I'd like to see that fourth line get involved right now. The top line is out here consisting of Jay Nadeau, Nathan Bottles, and Keelan Baker. But let's see the fourth line get involved. Let's see Hayden Flynn get some shots in this one. Tyler Martin, he had a great hit in the first period. I want to see him come back in this period with the same momentum he carried into it.
We've had two massive hits here in the opening two games for CMU. Gibbs decking the man into the Chippewa bench last season. Oh, horn goes off, but we keep playing.
Hey, how concerned, Reagan, how concerned were we with the departing seniors about the physicality going away? It was CMU's trademark all of last year, how physical they were, how demanding they were on teams to wear them down in the game, and they're leaving that same thing out here.
Yeah, not only last year, but also over the past 5 years, CMU has historically been a very physical team. You think of Brennan Martin, Ben Rychuk, just so many physical players, and this play is stopped here as the net came off its moorings behind Burton with 18:44 to go. CMU's identity has been physicality, and the freshmen are stepping up.
You know, it's always fun to watch them turn forwards into banana split sandwiches. Getting pushed together, right? Kind of like a Frankenstein meal. But it's good to see them matching that with the offensive presence. That's something head coach Tyler Cataline talked so much about. Austin Whaley taking over for Dalton Sullivan, who departed as an assistant coach. He runs these forward groups, and he told me, once again, he wants consistency and he wants good chemistry. Right now, they're building that with this group. Maybe not against the most uproaring teams, I should say, or ones that have been at the national tournament, but they will play those teams later this season, and they need to get that chemistry going right now. And so far, they've been doing it. 4 goals on the board.
Look out, a turnover at center. Here's Colin Unzicker over the line. Dropped it off for Hines, but Hines lost it to Isaac Gibbs. Isaac Gibbs and Andrew Porzondik get their signals crossed at center and are unable to do anything more than dump it in. Puck comes free to the left point. Ritter backhands it wide of goal. And they feed it out in front, and it's loose under Burton, and he holds on. Isaac Gibbs poking away before the whistle. Gets a slash in return, but all that's fair game around a goaltender.
You know, Reagan, one thing we failed to mention so far on the broadcast today is the missing forward, Owen Campbell, the second-year player. He was a strong producer for the Chippewas last season. First in assist leaders with Joey Simon-Selly, was one of their best point getters on the year. That's a big missing piece right now. And
now it's Chippewas score! Austin Ritter from the left point goes to the 5-hole of James Burton, and 2:01 into the second. CMU is up by half a decade.
Talk about a bounce back for Austin Ritter. A beautiful goal there from the top of the point. One of the players here that didn't score the most this last season. He actually only had about 1 goal on the year, and I believe that was against Lawrence Tech. But that was a great snapshot there from the top of the blue line. It went right through the 5-hole of Burton, and a great start. How about Austin Ritter? You know, he didn't have the greatest game against Ferris State. He's had a good night so far, and he continues that now with a goal here.
And that may be a defenseman's goal, but credit to the forwards out in front. Now look out, Rychuk intercepts a pass. Who'll move in? And somehow Burton kept the puck out of the net. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Benny, look at him, and he's shaking his head like, what do I got to do?
What a save by James Burton on the right side of the net.
Yeah, you know, Burton's had a tough night so far, but that was one of his better saves, really stretching the left pad to get it all the way over to Rychuk as he tried to go backhand. And Julian Johnson tried to slam that home, but right in there was Andrew Goodrich to negate that. So that was a good play by the Lakers. Credit where credit's due. Burton, although putting up 5 on the board now against him, another good solid save right there.
Chippewas win the offensive zone draw. Hayes from the left point, and he scores! There wasn't much room at the top left of the net, but he puts it in nonetheless, and 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds sees CMU up by half a dozen.
The captain steps up for them. Charlie Hayes, the defenseman from Ada, Michigan, really just put a saucer once again on net that found its way through to the back of it, and that was another one of those funky goals that really you don't see coming like that, but Charlie Hayes making it happen right there for his first of the season.
Hayes seems always to produce some fluky goals. Last year at Adrian, he managed to put a puck into the rafters almost and have it go past Zelko.
Hayden Flynn.
And puck is kept out of the net here by Burton. And then that one, just a shot from the left point that was labeled for the top left corner and found its way past Burton, who didn't see it until it was too late.
So an action-packed start here, but as we were talking about the missing forward, Owen Campbell from Jackson, Michigan, the second-year player, one of the leading scorers on this team. How about when he gets back to this group? Where's he going to fit in, especially when we solidify the top 2 lines, which it looks like it's happening right now in this game as it develops. We can see him fit in that third line, maybe be that offensive presence that they're missing, not necessarily with Julian Johnson, Keegan Moore, and Ben Rychuk. I'm curious to see where they're going to put him back once he comes in the lineup.
Yeah. Hayes' shot from the left point was blocked up, and Burton wasn't even ready, and they dropped the puck without him. He's looking at the referee like, what the heck, man? And now look out, they scored. Charlie Hayes has got 2 on the night, and 2 in about 20 seconds. 7-0 CMU.
Yeah, Burton's really, the floodgates have opened on him, and Charlie Hayes, another snapper. That one similar to Austin Ritter's goal, literally just a minute and a half ago. 3 unanswered so far in the first 3 minutes of this one. Central Michigan pouring it on the goaltender. And boy, oh boy, you got to think if Burton might come out of this one, and it looks like he will.
Burton's coming out. In will come number 31, Jason Thomas. And for CMU, Devin, that's 3 goals in 48 seconds. That's just hard to fathom.
Well, that's a tough night for the goaltender, James Burton, he had a tough start to this one, and now the other netminder for the Lakers will come into this one, and, a pretty successful night still to go. We still have a lot to play here, Reagan.
And, you often see it in professional hockey, the institution of a backup netminder into the game for a losing team sometimes gives their team a little bit extra juice. We've seen it before with emergency backup goaltenders and backup goaltenders in general. We'll see how LSU responds to their starting netminder being pulled. Here's Jay Nadeau behind the goal, puts on the brakes. Now from a sharp angle, Bottles was denied. 16:33 to go here in the opening period. CMU up 7-0, and Charlie Hayes has 2 goals on the night. That pulls him within 7 points of 50 career points in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Here's Nathan Bottles at neutral ice, flips it in on goal. Turning it aside there was Jason Thomas. Thomas appeared in 1 game earlier this season in that series against Purdue Northwest. He gave up 5 goals in that game. 4 minutes gone.
The wanted a tripping call there for Porzondik, none coming. The referees really have let them play in this game so far. Only 2 penalties so far on the night.
Now this one rolls in on Jason Thomas, and he'll hold for a whistle with 5:50 to go, or 15:50 to go here in the second period.
I thought the defensive group for this team has particularly looked better. We talked about Austin Ritter now having a goal tonight, looking so much more poised. This group needs a defensive core that can stay stable. Kyle Chapman's out of the lineup for the foreseeable future. Braden Kielb is out with his shoulder injury. So it looks like they're going to have to sort of bolster their defense. And so far they're doing that tonight. Andrew Soraki, we mentioned, the forward moving back to D. That was a great move by Austin Whaley and head coach Tyler Cataline. Moved Keelan back up to the forward groups. Put Soraki, who had a great time killing penalties against Ferris State. And looks like he's going to get some ice time here. And he has tonight. I've been impressed by all around this defensive core.
15:38 to go. Chippewas win the offensive zone draw. Ritter slides it across to Martin. Martin dances around the pressure there from Saratino before winding it around the boards. Ritter kept it in left point, fires it wide. It caroms up the boards, and great keep there by Ben Rychuk at the right point. Whole let a shot go blocked with 15:18 to go in the period. Out come the Lakers. Baker Got to be careful not to hook his man there, but he gets away with it. Rychuk steps into his man, but look out here, Saratino over the line, and a shot, and Joel Drucker makes the save with 15:03 to go in period number 1.
Yeah, the third line going to work for the Chippewas. Ben Rychuk, an awesome keep. That's something they need to do better with this season. We saw last year, especially during Nationals, they struggled to keep pucks in the zone when they needed to in crunch time. When you're in a game like this, obviously the nerves can be much more calm. You can think a lot more and see your presence on the ice, but that's something the Chippewas need to keep up all this year. I'm impressed by Ben Rychuk. We've talked about it all night. Really, on all fronts, the Chippewas are having a wonderful game, clearly by the 7-0 score.
Yeah, the Chippewas putting up a touchdown and an extra point here on Friday night. Typically a night reserved for high school hockey, or high school football, but they usually have those 7-0 scores.
Hey, Reagan, you got a fun fact of the day for us? Maybe like a notable stat is Keegan Moore trying to go bar down on that one. He almost got it there.
No, not at the moment, but we do have this Dayton Chippewas history coming up.
That's what I was looking
here
for. This Dayton Chippewas.
At the next stoppage of play. Look out, here's Rychuk moving in, a shot, save, rebound, comes behind the goal.
Gosh, we can't even get the fun facts out of the way because Rychuk's trying to negate that and show off here.
We'll wait till the next stoppage of play as the Chippewas have an extended zone time here. Hayes pulls into the slot and lets a shot go up and out of play. That comes off a Lake Superior State Laker and out of play. 14:09 to go here in the first, and now it's time to turn to this date in Chippewas history. Back in on September 30th, 2017, Grand Valley State defeated Central Michigan 2-1 at Griff's Georgetown in Georgetown, Michigan, split in the weekend series. After GVSU's scored halfway through both the second and the third, the Chippewa comeback came up short with the only goal coming with 6 seconds left off the stick of Nathan Allgaier. 2018.
Wasn't that the year the Wright brothers invented flying? I mean, that seems so long ago now, before COVID.
Before COVID, that
what even happened in 2018? I don't even
that
remember.
Was the year, if you remember.
What were you doing in 2018?
2018. That was
4 years ago?
That was my freshman year of high school, Evan.
Oh, yeah.
That was my freshman year of high school. Baby-faced Reagan walking into Grand Rapids Catholic Central.
No, listen. We grew beard this year, all right? Last year, we did clean faces. We've kind of grown up a bit, Reagan. I think. What do you say? We need to have on the production side maybe some Transformation Tuesdays. We'll talk to Joe Lazier, our social media guy. See if he can get us a Transition Tuesday or Transformation Tuesday. Jeez.
7-0 here. Central Michigan dominating the Lakers here. At Martin Icer in the home opener for the Maroon and Gold. Shot blocked the line. It bounces out to center. And it'll be Camara back. Look out, he gave it away. It'll it all on Drucker, and they score! Colin Unzicker scores for the Lakers. And they have put one past Joel Drucker on a miscommunication. At the blue line, CMU sees their lead, cut to 6.
Yeah, the bad giveaway leads to Unzicker's goal, and for Lake State, that was really a powerful play. They went hard to the net, pressed on the miscue by the Chippewas, and banged it home. And I'll tell you what, in a game like this where it is all for solace, the goals for Lake State, that is a good play for them, and that's something they can build confidence on when they can capitalize on mistakes of teams. Very good, solid play there by the Lakers. Or more a bad play on the Chippewas for the miscue.
And that all starts with a blocked shot at the defensive blue line there for Lake State. And it leads to an opportunity the other way. Look out, here's Nathan Bottles into the left circle. Pulls up in the corner, trying to feed it up top. It's knocked away. 12:53 to go here in the second. Ritter at the left point, steps into one, and seeing it all the way, there was Jason Thomas. Now, Devin, we mentioned that 2017-2018 campaign. That was the year CMU made that run all the way to the national semifinals, losing in one heck of a slobber knocker to Hope in the national semis, and that's really where the rivalry between those two teams started. But yeah, it was a really good year for CMU, and they're looking to replicate that.
Yeah, and one member of that club was Ben Rychuk off the post there. Nathan Bottles looking for another one here. But, we talked about how this team's been to the national tournament 4 out of the last 6 years, 3 straight the last 3. You know, Ben Reichuk was on that team, and he told me last season that all he wanted to do was beat Hope after that. That's where that rivalry started, especially against teams like Grand Valley State, the top teams. That's where Central Michigan solidified themselves as one of, as we should say, the more perennial teams in the MCHC. And so if you think about that year and where this program has come since then, boy, has it been a journey, and especially in their 10th season as a club.
Jay Nadeau just off sides by a hair at the blue line with Connor Morgan on the rush.
It can't be misstated, though, that there is one piece missing to that puzzle. They've been to the national tournament. They've been as far as the semifinals. Now all they need is that national championship to cap it off. The question will be, can this team put it together?
Indeed. Last year's team had those aspirations foiled twice by the Dutchman. First in the Vezina Cup semifinals at Hope's home arena, Griff's West. Now look out in front, the Chippewas. Oh, what a save on Soraki there by Thomas.
Oh boy, Jason Thomas came back all the way to get that one in front. And how about that for a stop? He hasn't let in a goal still since he's came in the game, and that was a beauty right there.
Now here's Morgan, a blocker save there by Thomas. Gibbs turns around and rips it around the boards. It got caught up, though, along the dasher boards. Morgan fishes it out of the corner. He's taken down. No hooking penalty. Okay. Now here's Gibbs stealing a pass. Throws it up, lofts it on top of the goal. And it's free behind the net. Comes free to the far half wall, stepping in there is Soraki. Around the outside, throws it in front for Gibbs. He fires and scores. Isaac Gibbs. That is goal number 3, a hat trick for the Central Michigan leading scorer. And with 11:03 left here in the second, CMU's up 8-1.
Yeah, that top line working out there. Morgan and Soraki was in there down low, got it in front there, and Gibbs just banged it home. Gibbs is that perennial goal scorer, as we talked about. The hat trick on the night. Reagan, your light the lamp. Stepping up for you, and now you can brag about being in the lead. And don't let it go to your head too much. I'm coming on for you still.
I like to keep the people at home thinking that I've got a smaller head than you. Here comes Ben Reichuk.
See that? Who is that? Who does have the bigger head?
Fires and a save.
We're talking about
Jason
Transformation
Thomas.
Tuesday. We need a comparison day for us, you know.
Ooh,
the players aren't
fun.
the action, right? Come on, man.
And you don't have a big head, right?
Come on.
10:55 to go here in the second.
Man. Come on. Give me something else here. How original.
Don't have to be original when it's so obvious. Now the Lakers throwing one out in front. It's deflected into the corner.
He just can't let up, folks. He never lets up.
Hey, as soon as Devin lets up the fact that he won Light the Lamp last year, I'll quit joking about his big head.
Oh, fair enough.
The Lakers take the puck and slide it down the ice.
It might be a big head, but there's a lot filled up in there, buddy. Trust me.
Lots of hot air. Chippewas coming back. The Lakers out at center ice, give it away. Here's Ben Reichuk, gets lit up. Here's Clemens to the side of the net. Johnson had the puck knocked away from him. The net's well off its moorings with 10:05 to go here in the second.
A great transition at center ice. Reichuk gets this one to Clements, and he gets it to Moore. I'm really poised now to see Clements stepping into that offensive role. We've talked about his good IQ defensively, great in front of the net, really has a good vision for poking pucks out of their passing lanes, notably in the circles, right? But we want to see more offense out of these defensemen this season. Austin Ritter has a goal. Andrew Soraki's been close. Why not add Clements to that group, the new freshman for the group?
Indeed, 10:05 to go here in period 2. CMU up by 7. Lakers trying to get out of their own zone. Puck comes free to the line and out before Ritter could get to it. We'll fling it into the offensive end. Lakers chip it out just too far for the intended target here. Now he knocked down a pass, but Ritter, good job to get it back. He threw it ahead, cross ice to the right side. Working down in there is Andrew Miller. Miller holds his man to the ice. Ritter kept it in left point. Good job there. Shot through traffic. Knocked down. Penalty coming up here on the Lakers. And they're going to touch up. And a penalty Coming up here on LSSU, we'll put CMU on their second power play of the evening. They are already 1 for 1.
Yeah, Miller got tied up there with Stephen Hines of the Lakers, and it was just right in front of the net. They both went head over tea kettle, as we should say, and he really just got taken down to the ice. So another power play coming up here for the Chippewas, their second of the night. And really in a game that we talked about Chippewas needing more discipline in, we have not seen a lot of penalties. Clearly so with the score being as it is, but still it has to be accredited. The discipline of the Chippewas has been better tonight, and the referees have been letting them play. We'll give it credit where credit's due on the officiating staff here tonight.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job, and they've been calling it fair, letting things go both sides of the ice, which is always good to see. 9:25 to go here in the second. LSSU on the penalty kill for the second time here tonight. Now look out. A quick opportunity right off the face-off. Hayes could not keep that clearing attempt in at center ice. 9:13 to go. Lake State has killed off the first quarter of a minute, but look out, here's Connor Morgan in behind the goal. Morgan wraps around and fires it well high. And it's kept in at the right point here by Camara. Slides it over to Hayes. Shovels it down low to Nadeau. Nadeau back up to Hayes, high slot. Oh, let a shot go. Blocked out in front. Rebound. Comes back to Hayes. Hold slide to the left side. Put it down low to Nadeau along the half wall. Oh, work it down low to Morgan. He and Nadeau interchange. Back up top for Camara. Camara from the half wall, a shot. That one off a stick and deflected to the near side. Here's Nadeau from a sharp angle. Sent it wide. Here's Camara. Up top for Hayes. Hayes at the high slot, down to Nadeau on a one-timer.
Oh,
and
Rockstar
the net
angle.
comes
Nadeau
off on that again, and getting tied up. Ben Reichuk and Jack Adams.
You think he practices from that angle? Boy, oh boy, Jay Nadeau from Rockstar angle, as we should call it, bottom of the left circle. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the CMU Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV.
8:27 to go here in period number 2. From the right circle, two players battle, and the Chippewas come out with the puck out of the face-off.
You know what's interesting here? Austin Whaley, the assistant coach for the Chippewas, manning the forward group, has elected to switch Rychuk and Baker. Baker right now working with the top group out here, Isaac Gibbs, and they even got Nathan Bottles playing out here. So a little bit of line shifting going on, maybe trying to see what they've got. Again, like we mentioned, trying to solidify these top two lines on the year. Austin Whaley, the new assistant coach for the Chippewas, working right now differently.
Yeah, and also could be a power play unit, as typically teams do switch up forward lines. But if Devin's correct, and they are working on maybe shifting up those lines, getting new players in, still trying to figure out some of that chemistry.
But what's so important to this group is Nathan Bottles. We mentioned how good he is as a player himself with the IQ as he's coming off the ice right now for Ben Rychuk.
Interesting.
And they've had Rychuk on this power play group too, which is very interesting. We saw him last year being on the penalty kill group. So trying some things with Rychuk here on the ice.
Half a minute left in the power play. Chippewas sent it out in front. Rychuk couldn't make it home. Baker on that right half wall. Hold. Cross ice to Gibbs. Top of the left circle. Fires a shot. Deflected up and out of play off of an LSSU stick. So the puck will stay in the Laker end.
That was a nice saucer pass from Christopher Martin. And as you mentioned, the power play group has to be better than they were last year. They were not one of the better teams in the MCHC as far as scoring goals, and that's something they're trying to pick up here. Getting Ben Rychuk those reps in front of the net, trying to get him those saucer feeds in front to one time at home. I love what they're doing right here.
Clement's shot was blocked off a stick, and Ben Rychuk doing a good job to get to it. Throwing it down low is Camara. Camara had it intercepted there by Goodrich. He couldn't get it out. Johnson behind the goal. 6 to go on the power play. Threw it out in front. Chippewas couldn't capitalize, and the Lakers set it down the length of the ice. They are 1 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight as time expires. Lake Superior has played a little bit better since that goaltending change. Thomas in particular.
Yeah, Reagan, what you talk about earlier about how having a goaltender that gives you confidence kind of builds up the play. Maybe that was the boost the Lakers maybe needed, and they can build momentum off now. I've been impressed very much like you have this second period from them.
Oh,
They've
look
been
out.
up on the play much better.
French intercepted the pass, the clearing attempt at the right point of the offensive end for the Lakers. And they look to go to work, but they turn it over. Pass out ahead to Johnson, ahead on to Rychuk. Rychuk in behind the defense, tries to cut to the backhand, and he's denied. Oh, the frustrations continue for Ben Rychuk as he skates to the bench.
Yeah, that's not the fourth or fifth look he's had. Isaac Gibbs looks like he's giving him a little bit on the bench there for the Chippewas. And we see you, Benny. He's trying out there to get to the front of the net. But this is the stuff you have to work through. A guy that hasn't scored a lot of goals historically for this team, trying to do something a little bit different. So, valiant effort from Rychuk, but just not able to get that extra stick handle or buzz to the net or the handle to have on it. He'll get there eventually, though, I'm sure.
He's up the left point. A wrist shot blocked away by Thomas. Puck free behind the net. Chippewas get to it, though. Loose puck pinned up along the boards. And it's worked free. The Lakers, that's played not with a high stick, but keeping the puck in here. Soraki steps into the circle, shoots and scores. Andrew Soraki gets his first goal as a Chippewa. And the Chips are up 9-1.
A nice wrister from Andrew Soraki, the first-year player from Northville. We talked about him moving back to the defensive spot for the injured Braden Keel, replacing Keelan Baker, who went to the forward spot. He makes it happen right there. And this is something Soraki was known for at his position at Northville. He scored 7 goals on the year, 15 total points, and impressive for his goal for his first as a CMU Chippewa. And how about that? Moving to the low slot, high slot area near the right circle, Andrew Soraki gets it past the goaltender, Thomas. And he's been playing well, the goaltender has, up until that point, and that's just a better shot by Soraki.
That's a great shot by Soraki in the slot. Hard to get to in any given situation, but when you've got guys out in front blocking your vision, it's even harder. Here's Goodrich taking the puck. Anderson tried to clear it, didn't work. Nathan Bottles steams over the line. Rubs off a check before dumping it down low. 5:51 to go here in period 2. Bottles turning and firing one. Knocked away by Thomas, and he just lined up Gorney, but Gorney sidestepped him. Now look out, a pass ahead. Bottles shovels it in over the line. Loose puck corralled there by Anderson across the way. Bottles all over the ice here in the last couple of minutes. Now at clearing time, blocked by Soraki, delayed offside, and Soraki touches up. 5:26 to go and a stoppage of play.
And you know, Reagan, in a game like this where obviously it's more out of hand on the Lakers side from anything of a win, you have to talk about building confidence now. We talked about switching up the forward lines. The defensemen have been getting very active, and as we mentioned, that's something they need to be better at. And the faceoffs have been better. Everything has been better for the Chippewas tonight. This is something I think they needed and they need early. Now the question is, when you face an opponent that has a lot of markers against you, notably Florida Gulf Coast, who, when they went on the road to play them last year, had their number, can they use this momentum against them?
Puck loose in front of Thomas, and Isaac Gibbs has his 4th of the evening, and the Chippewas have put up a decade here on the Lakers.
A good play in front for Isaac Gibbs, poised, calm, snaps this one home off the feed from the back. Poor Zondik, I see you, pointing at us here in the booth. And that's another type of goal where Isaac Gibbs gets in the low slot area. He's a goal scorer, and gets 4 on the night. Reagan, your light the lamp is looking really good right now. And not so much for me, but hey, you know what?
Yeah, Bottles has a couple of points. He's got a couple of points.
You might have won the battle, but I'm going to win the war, buddy. I can promise you that.
We'll see. Still a long way to go in the season.
We need more things to talk about, don't we? Than just the light the lamp and how big my head is, I guess.
Hey, you said it this time, not me.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Fans, keep it on the record. Devin said that, not me.
Yeah.
Here comes Isaac Gibbs in with speed. Fires! Oh, he hit that crossbar, and it goes up and out of play. Gibbs not done with 4. Still wanting that 5th goal. Lipton.
4 for 4. Make a wish, Reagan. On the board.
Okay. I got it. You?
I got it too.
Okay, good. Derek, you got one?
We're thinking the same thing.
Matt, you got one? Okay.
If I don't know what make a wish, Chippewa fans. Hopefully you're thinking the same thing as us.
Well, yeah, at least on this clock.
And it doesn't refer to just this game.
Given the fact that we are on a time delay with the Wi-Fi issues here at the home rink of the Chippewas, Martin Ice Arena, down in a heap goes Andrew Porzonik. He took a hit behind the net, gets up, shakes his head, seems to be all right. Ritter pinching in from the left point, gets knocked down and turns it over. Here's Andrew Goodrich up right wing. A 3-on-2 developing. He elects just to shoot it on goal, and Gibbs goes after him for it. Now a shot from a sharp angle in behind Drucker, and the puck is loose out in front, and Isaac Gibbs takes it and flips it ahead to Andrew Porzonik. He lost the puck though at the Martin Ice Arena logo before the Lakers take it and dump it in. 4:05 to go here in the second. Fans, don't forget to stay tuned for the second intermission report. I will have a game recap and a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here on CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Yeah, Clear University playing in their first game as a program against Calvin, who the Chippewas had trouble with last year, tied them on the road at their rink. Cleary, a good first test for them as a program. We'll see them in action next week in a home-and-home series against CMU.
Here's that's Camara. Puck hopped off of his skate, and the Lakers with a chance the other way, but they just dump it in, and Clements steals it ahead to right chuck. Oh, it was tapped off of his stick by Alex French. French from distance in on Drucker, and he'll glove it, but leave it there for Clements. On ahead to Moore across the way. He'll hold up at his own blue line. Cross-ice feed for Clements. Clements trying to move the puck up for the Chippewas. Rychuk took a hit after moving the puck in. 3 minutes to go here in the second. Puck free behind the net. Lakers trying to get out of their own zone. A much shorter bench for LSSU than for CMU. And that's showing here as the Lakers are dragging their feet a little bit here in the closing minutes of this second period. Now Moore trying to dive and pass it out in front. He fanned on the first opportunity, but was able to throw it out in front a second time. Clements from the left corner puts on the brakes behind the net, feeds it out in front. Martin holds it left point after keeping it in. Slides it across. Camara had to direct it off his skate to keep it in, but he couldn't gain possession, and the Lakers flip it out. 2:15 to go here in the second. Pass ahead to Martin. He'll move across the line. It'll circle out in front. That one off of the skate of Jack Adams and almost in.
Good defensive play there by Adams to stay poised in front of the net, take away that passing lane. We haven't seen the Lakers do that too much tonight, as it looks like the Chippewas have just been imposing their will. But that's a nice play. Credit due where credit due. Jack Adams, a nice play in front to negate that pass attempt.
Hayes' pass, trying to keep the puck in, was just too far for Martin in the slot, and it rolled in on Thomas, who held for a whistle. Since coming in, Thomas has only given up 2 goals. Pardon me, 3 goals. Since that goaltender change, he's played pretty solid.
And you know what? They've been solid goals. You know, Andrew Soraki, we talked about it, his first as a Chippewa, had a nice snapshot, really, from the top of the
look out, 2-on-1 developing here. Here's Anderson over the line, left it off for Saratino, and his shot goes off the mask of Joel Drucker.
Good points
and
from Drucker.
Look out, puck goes into the Laker bench.
We've been talking about the goal scoring of the Chippewas, Reagan, but Joel Drucker is having himself a pretty solid night. The goaltender battle this year is going to be a tight one. He's making his case for that starting job. Given up 1 tonight so far, although I will say it was a pretty sloppy play defensively for the Chippewas, which led to it. So overall, Joel's been solid, I think.
Yeah, and breakaway goals are ones as a goaltender, you look, okay, I can take away as much of the angle and follow one move, but after that, it's pretty hard to stop a breakaway, which is why you see the National Hockey League goaltenders, the best of the best, even struggle to do it.
Yeah, you know, he's a goaltender that compares himself to Jonathan Quick. He likes to be very mobile, play the puck when it's out of his crease, and really move around his crease from left to right a lot. So for Drucker, I think this is a game where you look at it and say, okay, I had a lot of poise. I saw some good looks, but more importantly, the Chippewa defense have been strong. Granted, the Laker team has been short of lines in this one. It's still something you can build momentum on as a goaltender. I'm sure you know, Reagan.
Indeed.
As a former goaltender yourself.
Yeah.
If we didn't mention it for the 1,000th time.
Oh,
that you so wholeheartedly mentioned.
Puck goes up into the Chippewa bench. Why do you think I talk about goaltending so much when I'm on color?
That's why, you know, Joel's great when he's up in the booth with us, but we like to see him on the ice. Yeah. And plus, too, I don't have to hear about you guys talk about goaltenders for 45-plus minutes.
We don't talk about goaltenders for 45-plus minutes. We have games to talk about.
Hey, that Lawrence Tech playoff game, I heard a lot of goaltenders.
Well, because he was on color.
Well,
what do you expect? You put a goalie on color, he's going to go and talk about goaltending.
I just live to get you worked up, that's all.
Nadeau spins and fires it on goal. It's knocked into the corner. Bottles turns it around. He gets it back. Toe drags out in front. Saved by Thomas with under 50 to go.
You think we're going to have a lot of Reaganisms this game? More Devonisms. I don't know who's had more.
Derek?
What do you think?
Who's got more?
Yeah. More Devonisms. Yeah. Notable clips here. It's me. It's just because I trip over my words half the time and I say clops instead of clips. Like, who does that?
Here's Martin throwing it out in front. Bottles gets it, though. Hold toe drag into the circle. A shot, and he scores. The water bottle almost popped out of the cylinder behind the net on that one. A laser of a shot from the sophomore out of Arcadia. It's 11-1. .6 to go here from Martin Ice Arena.
Yeah, nice shot there by Bottles for his second of the night. And a really, and one of this one now, double digits, 11-1. I don't know if he can make a wish, 11-1, but a solid second period. What has it been now? 7 goals for the Chippewas? Nothing but excellent. That's all you can say.
They got 6 on the board here in this second period. Time winding down, under 5 to go. There's going to be a penalty here at the end of the period. And we'll see who it's on when we come back. Second intermission report on the other side. Central Michigan dominating Lake Superior State here 11-1 after 40 minutes. We'll be right back with the second intermission report here on CCHN.
You're unmuted.
Back here inside the frozen Martin Ice Arena in the even chillier broadcast booth, Reagan Cleaves back here for the second intermission report as the Chippewas lead by a resounding 11-1 at the end of 40 minutes. Lots of goals in that second period. Chippewas got 6 across. LSSU scored 1 of their own. We'll take you through a quick recap. Austin Ritter, Charlie Hayes both scored early on in that period, just 25 seconds apart at the 2:01 and 2:26 mark before Hayes got his second of the game a little later on at 2:49. Now I'm joined by Coach Tyler Cataline. Thoughts on the game thus far, Coach?
I mean, it's 11-1. We're playing good.
Yeah.
It's a good game to get us motivated for the upcoming games. You know, we got Cleary next week. We don't know what they're going to do, and then we got Florida Gulf Coast coming in. So it's a good weekend to get our momentum going.
Yeah, we've seen early on in this season, we've got a lot of production from the freshmen coming in and the newcomers just in general, including Nathan Bottles, who got that last goal for CMU. Does it build your confidence as a coach to see the newcomers playing so well this early?
Yeah, I mean, our incoming class is, looking really good. I mean, you got Connor, Bottles. I mean, we're looking good. Everybody's getting points right now, which is not, I mean, I'm not worried about our points. I just want them to make sure that we're still playing, smart hockey, working on our forecheck and everything like that. Because, I mean, this is kind of like a practice right now at this point, the game. I mean, building on this, going into next weekend, all that stuff. I mean, it's like I said, we're using this as a practice against different guys. So, we're crisp when we play like the big teams.
Yeah, and it has been very good to see spreading the wealth. Multiple Chippewas getting goals. Isaac Gibbs, how about him scoring 5 goals in this hockey game?
Yeah, I think he's going for player of the year on this for this weekend. So no, he's playing good. Everyone is. I mean, I'm liking what I see out of Joel right now in net. He's made some good stops, and yeah, I mean Soraki getting his first goal for us. So I'm liking what I'm seeing, and hopefully we get out of here and everyone healthy.
And hopefully we're out of here by midnight too. And
yeah, we'll see.
Here at 10:40 in the evening, we'll see how that goes. Everybody, Coach Tyler Cataline joining us here in the second intermission report. Thanks, Coach. And good luck the rest of the way. Taking a look as we were after that first hectic 3 minutes for CMU with Ritter and Hayes, with Hayes scoring twice in a matter of just 20 seconds. LSSU got on the scoreboard of the Unzicker, cashing home on a breakaway at the 6:43 mark. Isaac Gibbs then proceeded to answer at 8:57 before the Chippewas were put on the power play with 10:37 to go. They were unable to capitalize on that, falling to 1 for 2 on the evening, but Andrew Soraki at the 13:50 mark got his first goal of the campaign, and as a Chippewa to put CMU up even more at that point. That was goal number 9 for the Chippewas before Isaac Gibbs made it 10 at 14:51, and then Nathan Bottles with just about 20 seconds left lit the lamp once more for his second goal of the game. He also has the first goal for CMU here tonight, and that's where we stand 11-1 at the end of 2. Central Michigan is going to have a 2-minute power play once we come back for the third period of play. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard here before we step aside. The Grand Rapids Griffins again in action next weekend, opening up their regular season against the San Diego Gulls on Saturday and Sunday. The Saginaw Spirit in action later this weekend on the 1st and the 2nd, taking on the Storm in their opening game. And then the Detroit Red Wings lost 2-0 here to the Washington Capitals later tonight as Devin tries to make a premature entrance before we head back to the third period. And now we'll take a look at the rest of the National Hockey League. In preseason action, the Flames and the Oilers at the end of 2 tied at 1. The Sharks trail the Ducks 3-0 at the end of one, and the Golden Knights and Sharks tied at one at the end of one. We'll get to the rest of the scores when we come back here. That'll do it for the second intermission report. Teams are just about to get back on the ice here for period number 3. We'll step aside, back with more in a moment here on CCHN. Regan Cleaves back with Devin Serra inside Martin Ice Arena, ready for period number 3. It's 11-1 Central Michigan, and they are on the penalty kill. I made a mistake. They had the scoreboard show Central with a 2-minute power play to begin this period. However, they find themselves on the penalty kill with Porzondik in the box. Devin, your thoughts on the second period?
Marvelous. I not much more to say than that. I mean, what can you say?
Can't really say much more.
The power play was excellent. The forecheck obviously excellent. Joe Drucker's been poised as a goaltender in his first start of the year. This is one now. It's just about management and building confidence for game number 2 tomorrow.
All right, game number 2 coming your way at 1 p.m. tomorrow. We'll have a 1:30 pregame coverage for you, assuming that the broadcast or that the Wi-Fi gets fixed here at Martin Ice Arena. Again, we tried to get it up tonight, but Wi-Fi connection just not working for us here. 19:06 to go here in the third. But yeah, that'll be followed by the women's broadcast. Derek Steele and Matt Ritter will have the call for you starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening as the women's D2 team takes on Michigan State in their season opener. Chippewas playing very conservatively here on the penalty kill. Here's Hines over the line left side. Got the puck knocked away from him, and it comes back out to neutral ice. Lake Superior going right to left here in this third period of play, wearing those blue uniforms. CMU going the opposite way, left to right, wearing their gold home uniforms. This one's taken and cleared the length of the ice with 9 seconds to go on the penalty kill. Andrew Porzondik going to hop back on the ice here. And there he goes. We're back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, Porzonic coming back out. He's really had a quiet night. My light the lamp pick. Really hasn't seen much of the ice tonight, but back out here on the 5-on-5 looking to make something here.
Maybe we'll learn. Porzonic has been one of our light the lamp picks the last 2 weeks and hasn't put anything up on the board yet.
Yeah, well, he had an electric year last year for the Chippewas, going on to score 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points, a team leader pretty much in almost all categories. So one of those players we unexpectedly thought would have more scoring production than these first two knots, but looking for more here as we'll get a whistle.
This one rolls in on Thomas. He'll hold 17:20 to go in period number 3.
We should give you a recap of who's been scoring the goals. Isaac Gibbs has 4 tonight. Nathan Bottles notched 2 on the night. Charlie Hayes, 3 goals in less than a minute and a half, along with Austin Ritter. So, the scoring wealth has been produced really by the guys we expected, those top forwards. Some defensemen getting in there, but, we're probably going to see more action for the fourth line here later on in this one.
And a lot of production from the first years on this Central Michigan team. Nathan Bottles has 2. Andrew Soraki. Oh, come on. That's got to be a hook. It's got... And I know CMU's up by 10, but when the puck is... When a guy's stick is in the crook of the arm, that's got to be a penalty. Here's Andrew Porzonic behind the goal. And it slides to Thomas, who'll hold on.
I don't say nothing, folks. There's nothing in my mind right now.
Devin's been pretty quiet through the first 3 minutes and 9 seconds of this.
Oh, what are we analyzing
period?
My stats now? The average talking speed, time, endurance?
I'm just saying your talking has very much decreased since you made that accidental appearance at the end of the second intermission report.
Yeah, I'm not the star of the show here. That's okay. No comment. Yeah, what do you even say to that, folks? Oh, boy.
I don't know.
Charlie Hayes, let's talk about him.
He's got the puck back at his own line. Slides it over to Soraki, who will fire it up the wing to Hayden Flynn. Tied up along the near boards. Lakers, though, take control with 16:21 to go here in regulation.
So this is what I've wanted to see. The fourth line out here, Luke Wild, Hayden Flynn, Andrew Miller, the extra skater for the Chippewas out here. Pretty good offensive presence there as Thomas scoops that one up. The fourth line has to be one that's pretty solid, I would say, in the physicality department. Hayden Flynn showed that earlier here tonight. One of the fan favorites, I would say, the Don Father, and one of the team favorites. Always trying to have a good time at practice, and a guy that will wear you down physically if he doesn't do anything else.
He, along with Ben Rychuk, provided the physical presence last year, often coming to the defense of their teammates. Puck tied up across the way, right in front of the Lake Superior bench. Chippewas keep it in. Outlet pass through center, picked off by Clements. Clements steps over the line. He's being harassed from behind. Will be into the right circle. Look out, a shot, saving the rebound. Oh, and that one was ripped just wide there by Andrew Miller. Clements back with the left point, a shot through traffic wide. Up the right wall, Kamara steps into one, and it'll be held on to there by Thomas.
Clements having a wonderful night, the 6'1 freshman from Clarkston, Michigan. Ben, we've talked about the goal scorers in defense. Charlie Hayes, Austin Ritter. I'm surprised Clements hasn't gotten one yet. As we talked about, had a great practice this week, was really all over the ice defensively. Well, he was going to work right there, moving past defenders, stick handling. Expect Clements to be that offensive defenseman maybe this year. And there's still a lot of unknowns with this team. What does this defensive core look like? Are they more offensive based? Are they more steady in front of their net? As the icing's going to get there. Nice speed by Clements again. There's going to be a lot of questions going into the next couple of weeks if they can carry this momentum, because there's still so many unknowns from the lines, from the goaltending, from who's going to step up on defense. So far, it's been all of those tonight.
15:18 to go here in period number 3. CMU up by double digits here in their home opener of the 10th season of Chippewa hockey. Reagan Cleaves inside the broadcast booth with you alongside Devin Serra. Eric Steele pushing the ones and twos. Matthew Ritter working the camera for us here. Lakers are able to push the puck out, and Martin racing back is able to beat out Colin Unzik here. Lake Superior State fans wanting Unzicker to have beaten out the icing.
Fans, be sure to tune into CCHN tomorrow for a double feature of Chippewa hockey. The men's team, Division 3, starts the day at 1 p.m. against these same Lakers, with Reagan and I on the call before the women's Division 2 Chippewas open up their 2022-23 campaign against the Michigan State Spartans. Derek Steele and Matt Ryder, our great production crew tonight, will have the call right there for you here on CCHN, starting at 7:05 p.m. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Right check across the way. Picks up the loose puck. Lakers at a 2-on-1. Couldn't do anything with it a couple moments ago. Into the offensive end. Chippewas lose control of the puck. Seth Hill back to play it. Anderson tied up. Leaves it off for Hill. Hill back across to Anderson as they play catch at their own line. Chippewas, though they are up big, still allowing themselves to apply that forecheck. They're not going to let up. Talking with Tyler Cataline during the intermission, as you saw on air, he wants his team to keep working on the fundamentals. This is, at this point, it's a competitive practice. As Cataline said, they're up 10. There's really no shot of them losing or the game changing in any particular way, and so they will play here and keep cycling through the lines, getting guys playing time.
But that is a byproduct, Reagan, of the changing culture this team wants to have. Tyler Cataline talked about last year how there were games when their players really weren't into it. They would sometimes play lackluster just because of their effort and their buy-in to the team. This year, it's a whole different story. With all these new players, all these new positions, he wants this team to have relentless energy, relentless chemistry, so that when they do play those good teams, they don't give up in a game. They don't get themselves down when they aren't necessarily the favorited team. He wants them to be strong, as you mentioned, fundamentally, and they're showing that right here. Still putting on the gas, 110% in this one.
Here's a shot from the right point there by Soraki. Ripped wide. Hayes keeps it in left point. His shot was blocked right onto the stick of Nadeau. Nadeau pinwheels at the left point, drops it off for Hayes. He'll step in with a shot. He ripped it wide. Soraki pinches down to the half wall. Is there for the Chippewas. Leaves it off for Bottles. Bottles, high slot, dropped it off for Baker. A shot through traffic, deflected just wide.
You know, Reagan, one of those things I'd like to see from the Chippewas in this period, as you mentioned, the game kind of out of hand for the Lakers now, is a competitive practice. Well, if it is so, they need to work on those sort of forward plays that they want with these top groups. If you talk about putting guys in position to make smart IQ plays, find ways to creatively get to the front of the net and not just look for the one-time shot. Look for that extra pass, that extra forward to get in there, as they're trying to do right now. But the Lakers have been defending it well, and I will say right now the Chippewas under pressure.
Yeah, they've had some extended zone time here. 12:31 to go in regulation. Chippewas up 11-1. Hayes kept it in left point. Bouncing puck thrown on goal. Rebound loose out in front. Here's Soraki. Another shot. Saving the rebound. Comes out in the slot. Baker stretches out to keep it in. Lakers tired out there with this line. Here's Baker to the side of the net. Threw it out in front. It was kept in there by Soraki. Soraki left it off for Hayes. Wrist shot through traffic. Deflected wide. Rebound side of the net. A shot from a sharp angle, and Thomas gets it from a teammate and will gladly fall on that one with 12:03 to go.
Yeah, you know, if you're head coach Tyler Cataline, you're kind of looking at that play going, yeah, we've got the shots, we've got the energy, but where's the control? Where is the substance to hold this puck and really make a smart play with it? That's something that's sort of still missing with this group. Do they have a defined set of plays with their top units? That's something that's still going to be a question as we go through the year. When it going gets tough, can they make a smart play in front of the net? They've done that at times this night, but a lot of them have just been from great shots from guys like Ritter, Hayes, and Gibbs. So I want to see more better play here.
Puck free behind the net. Oh, a Chippewa taken down. Penalty coming up here with the back official calling it, and look out. Getting in the face there of Seth Hill was Andrew Porzondik, who was taken down behind the net. The back official had his arm up. Not sure who the penalty is going to be on here with 11:40 to go in the third.
Yeah, they're talking to Porzondik right now. It could be on the Chippewas here. I guess some sort of discussion happened behind the net there, and it's leading to this discussion with the referees. So Porzondik will go to the penalty box, sit in the sin bin for a little bit, and it'll put the Lakers on another power play. Little uncanny there from the forward. I would say Porzonik is one of those guys that does like to talk on the ice, has great communication with his teammates, but he also has a knack for saying maybe one too many things out there that'll cost him and his team. So that's something we're going to have to watch again as well. Does this team stay disciplined? I'm sure head coach Tyler Cataline is probably not going to like that one.
Something that we saw at the tail end of a couple of losses last season toward the midway point. Chippewas lost their cool. Things got out of hand. That will certainly be something that we keep an eye on later on this season. Chippewas on the penalty kill here for another 148. They are 1 for 1 here tonight with the only opportunity coming back at the 5:22 mark of the opening frame. Clements intercepted a pass up short-handed. He lit up Adams at neutral ice.
Yeah, Jack Adams, the defenseman for Lakers, he's had a solid night so far. Obviously not a solid play for him right there, but he's been one of those defenders I've seen that's played well. If you're a Lake Superior State fan, you have to find some ways to build momentum, right? Some ways to look for the silver lining. Jack Adams, the defenseman, is one of those players. I thought he's played stout tonight. Granted, the score has gotten out of hand, but he's done his job when he's needed to.
Here come the Lakers up the right wing. Gibbs labels his man into the boards, and
oh
no.
Oh, wowza.
Down on the ice, that's
Adams
across the way.
Yeah.
He looked like he took his ribs into the boards.
Yeah.
Good that he's getting up. He was writhing in pain down on the ice for a little bit. Gibbs lit him up.
I thought he caught a little bit of the corner of where that half wall meets at the gate opening. Man, that's just a tough hit to see right there. Gibbs, I'm sure, just kind of stepping into him as the play develops. But if you're Jack Adams, man, that one's going to hurt overnight for sure. You still have to turn around and play a game tomorrow, so that's going to be one he's going to be feeling for a while, I'm sure.
We're looking at about a 13 and a half hour turnaround here for both these two teams, as we're nearing 11 o'clock here on this Friday, the last day of September. In the second game for the Chippewas, third for the Lakers. They'll conclude their weekend series tomorrow with coverage again here on CCHN. As we reach the halfway point of this third period, Chippewas are able to stop the Laker rush at the line. Now look out, Hayden Flynn pulled the puck away at the line and let a shot go wide. Penalty coming up here on the Lakers. They're going to touch up here. And what's the penalty going to be? Slashing the call, and we'll go to a short 10-second 4-on-4.
Hayden Flynn looked a little bit roughed up from that slash, holding his right leg as he went back to the bench there. That's still an impressive effort there from the elder statesman forward for them, playing on the fourth line here tonight from Trenton, Michigan. You know, he had 5 goals last season for the Chippewas, albeit later in the year. And for Hayden Flynn, I'd love to see him get a goal here tonight, but obviously still get something productive for them, the power play. It's going to be 4-on-4 here for the next 10 seconds.
Chippewas win the 4-on-4. Draw look to go to work here, gain possession, and hold it for the next 4 seconds. If they do, they'll have a power play with possession. Out of the box hops Porzondik. Baker comes on to replace him. Here's Nadeau in the offensive zone. Drops it off for Martin to the high slot. Martin works to the left point, drops it down to Nadeau. His pass was fanned on, and it's intercepted by his opposite number, Anderson. Here comes Braden Anderson, the defenseman. Long shot on Drucker, and he's got a man coming in on him. And Gibbs gave Anderson a little bit of a push, and Anderson may have went limp there.
We'll say limp is a soft term for that one.
Be generous.
You know, that's a tough pass there from Nadeau. You know, he's trying to get that one back up top for Martin, and just doesn't have as much as he wants on it. You know, it's little things like that, Reagan, that you have to look at and practice and later in the year and go, hey, where did we develop this style of play from? You know, where did we miss on the extra step on this play? That's one of those moments. But Jay Nadeau's had a pretty solid night overall.
Nathan Bottles, end-to-end, still holds the puck. Leaves it there for Isaac Gibbs, left point. Gibbs steps into it, fires it high. It was deflected on its way to Jay Nadeau in the right corner. Nadeau puts on the brakes, slides it behind for Baker. Baker back for Nadeau. Nadeau behind the goal. Near side to Bottles. Bottles in the corner of the half wall. Down low for Nadeau, back in front for Martin. He fires it high. Here's Baker back in the far corner. Hold, work it up top for Gibbs. Near side to Martin. Martin down low to Nadeau. Back up top for Martin. Martin will let a wrist shot go. Save. Rebound. Loose out in front, and the Lakers are able to clear the length of the ice with 36 seconds to go.
A nice cycle by this top power play group with Bottles, Nadeau, and Martin taking a couple shots, but just not the finishing capability on these plays, but a decent cycle that they can probably build momentum off of.
Here's Isaac Gibbs taking. That's going to be a tripping penalty. Holding his head there is Jack Adams. Off goes Joel Drucker for the extra attacker. Camara fires it across, and a whistle? Didn't see the Lakers touch out.
Neither did I, but I guess so. Nonetheless,
is there going to be a second penalty here?
Ooh, I don't.
Charlie Hayes is going to go to the box.
Yeah, the guys negated.
Where the heck was that penalty?
Yeah, we both missed it up here in the booth, clearly.
I think there's going to be a slashing penalty here on Hayes and a tripping penalty on the Lakers. It'll be a 4-on-3. Never mind, it'll be coincidental penalties here with 13 seconds left. Possibly? Yeah.
We'll say it's been a long night. You know, some stuff gets missed up here in the booth too. And Reagan Cleves once again on an excellent call in this one. And how impressed are you personally with this top forward group, especially the power play?
CMU, Chippewas have done a very good job tonight. Yes, with their top line, but they've been playing very well. Isaac Gibbs, obviously, with 4 or 5 points on the night, but he also has a couple of assists. And Nathan Bottles, his line mate, they've been working very well together. Here's a shot and a save by Joel Drucker. We're back to 5-on-5, but one thing I will say, the Chippewas doing a very good job spreading the wealth out, getting everybody involved, not necessarily on the score sheet, even though it is 11-1. Gibbs has been dominant on that, as well as Bottles with 2 goals. But everybody's been producing, getting scoring chances, and it's been very good to see the Chippewas, who have been consistently top-heavy the last couple of seasons, do a good job. Now look out, here's Keegan Moore down the right wing. He'll cut in on goal to the forehand. He couldn't get a handle on it, though he still has the puck. His pass over to Clements forces Clements to retreat back out of the zone.
Yeah, Keegan Moore really manning this third line right now, trying to look for a smart play, and he's kind of working with a group he hasn't necessarily had the best chemistry with tonight, but still producing for his own right there, going to the net, as that one's going to be an offside.
And Rychuk trying to do the splits, but he is no gymnast.
Yeah, certainly no. Point is, Reagan, you have to do like the spread of the wealth here. And what is a point we already made earlier in this period? 7:06 left. It's a 10-point game, right? Chippewas lead. We have not seen them really let up. They've really had a relentless forecheck still. As you mentioned, the competitive practice stuff, right? They're still practicing what they want to see later down the road. And we still have a game tomorrow, right? So none of these teams are going away for the last 7.5 minutes so far. They want to produce. They want to make stuff happen. They want to build momentum. We've mentioned it now numerous times. And right now, the Chippewas are practicing that right now.
Lakers seem to be taking runs all over the ice, getting a little bit more desperate here as time winds down, trying to score another goal, maybe getting frustrated with how physical the Chippewas are getting.
Yeah, Reagan, it can't be noted how chippy has it gotten here in the last 3.5 minutes or so now. I mean, we've seen a slashing call, we've seen a near boarding. It's getting to that point, but both teams just got to stay their composure.
And admittedly, it hasn't been as chippy as it could have been. Chippewas been engaged in a couple of
that is true.
chippy matchups.
Especially from Rychuk. Holy moly, he's been more focused on scoring goals than he has been hitting somebody finally.
It's good to see. Oh, that's going to be a penalty on Julian Johnson here right in front of us. That's 6 minutes to go here in period number 3. Johnson knows what he's done and obsequiously will go to the box. 6 minutes to go. A very blatant trip and a slash.
Yeah, Julian knows it. You know, he's the type of player that last year he really was in and out of the lineup trying to earn his spot after he transferred from Adrian. Yeah, hate to see that early in this one, but I'm interested to see if he'll be a producer for the Chippewas. He kind of needs to work on the speed of it, I think. He can be that player that's a solidified assist man and can pass the puck well, but he's just got to show more of it this year.
Lakers can't keep the puck into the offensive blue line. And look out, here's Hayden Flynn short-handed on the left side. Hayden Flynn gets stepped into there by Zach Jones. Big hit for Lake State, and they got the puck back.
They felt that one on 4th Street. Man, Hayden Flynn got stepped into hard.
Oh, look out, here's Hines into the slot, fires a shot, and a big glove save there by Joel Drucker. Who'll hold on with 5:34 to go here in period 3.
You know, Flinny's been telling me earlier this week he was dealing with a bad hip in practice, and right now, man, that's going to be a difficult kind of hit there. He's all right though. He looks fine out on the ice. I say a hip. You know, Reagan, as well as I do, all hockey players are beat up at some point, especially in the way this one's gone. I mean, come on, if you're not beat up, you're not doing it right.
Fair enough. 1:30 to go in the man advantage. Lakers get it out here. Here's Anderson across the line left side. Lost the puck, and Luke Wild picks it up. He flips it down the right side and into the offensive end, but we'll go in on the forecheck here. Look out, he poked the puck free. Wild still after it. He goes. Saratino was able to pick it up. 5:04 to go here in the third period. CMU dominating the Sailors here. 11-1 on the home opener night at Martin Ice Arena. On behind the goal, Christopher Martin up to Porzondik. Porzondik flips it up the boards. Oh, he tried to get past Tanner Wiley. That didn't work. Across the way, look out. Here's from a sharp angle. A shot there by Chippewa forward down the left side, and it goes up and out of play.
You know, Reagan, a player that used to get stepped into a lot and still got up on every play. Remember when Jacob St. Andre, one of the leading scorers for the Chips last year, number 9, he got stepped into at Nationals time and time again, and he got back up on the play. And I think, man, that's just the character of this team. You know, even doesn't matter how hard the hits are, doesn't matter how big the play can be, they always get up and have the relentless pressure. And that's what I love to see from this group.
Look out, here come the Lakers. Down the left side, here's Hill. Full fire, a shot that was blocked. Rebound, they score! A power play tally for Stephen Hines. And the Lakers have 2 on the board. It's 11-2 with 4:18 to go.
Yeah, moderately lackadaisical defense there. And Hines, credit where credit's due, gets on the board here against Joel Drucker. Relentless rebounding pressure there past the goaltender, getting past the glove side. And, you know, for Drucker, he's had a solid night so far. That one, maybe he wants back a little bit, but nothing to hang your head about here with 4:15 to left to go and still a 9-score deficit.
4:11 to go here in period 3. Out comes Nathan Bottles in the pass from Hayes. Ahead to Baker on right wing. He'll pull up, fire a shot, and a save there by Jason Thomas with 4:03 to go.
If you are looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to cmitchicehockey.com. There you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and more. That's cmitchicehockey.com. Jay
And
Nadeau.
the Chippewas answer back.
Well, so
Just
this is
18 seconds later. Jay Nadeau scoring with exactly 4 minutes left on the clock. Another goal for CMU. They're up big.
Yeah, he's going to feel good about that one, especially since we talked about Nadeau having a solid night. Didn't get on the board yet. He finally does there. And, you know, a good face-off, too, led from him. And a confidence builder. And, you know, Nadeau's a really flashy guy that likes to have a lot of personality. He's going to go home and talk to the boys about that one, I'm sure.
Baker keeps it at the right point near side to Clemency. Fires a shot. That was wide. Nadeau backs it up for Camara. Camara down the boards. Kicked free into the circle. Loose puck. Lakers battling for it. Chippewas trying to get it. And the Lakers eventually flip it out. 3:30 to go in the third. Joel Drucker thought about coming out. Saw that Camara was back there well enough. And decided to stay back in his own net. Camara and Clements play catch. Comes off the boards. Here comes Clements through the neutral zone. He toe drags into the far corner. Pulls up in the corner. Back up top for Johnson. He'll walk in. Fire a shot. Save. And the Lakers are going to come out with it.
Look at the speed by Clements to get back there. Gosh, you have to be impressed by him. And he gets that one intercepted. Gosh, what a move that was by Clements. Did you see that through the legs, toe drag? Boy, oh boy, he's going to like that one. Head coach will.
Right chuck put into the boards, and cacophony rings therefrom. And we've got a stoppage of play as the puck works free to the side of the net, where Thomas will hold on. 2:47 to go here in the third. Johnson to the right, to the left of Thomas. Wins the draw for CMU, but the Lakers win the race to the loose puck and throw it down the ice. 2:38 to go here in the third. CMU up by a truck.
Right, yo.
Hit a cement wall.
Yikes,
going
man.
into the boards. His helmet almost came off.
He said, I am speed with that one, man. He tried to go onto the defender with some sort of stick handling move, and he got the worst of it. Boy, Bendy, he's on the bench. He's all right after that one.
Sometimes Rychuk doesn't know what's best for him and tries to go. He got the worst end of that one. 2:24 to go here in the third. Gibbs throws it down low, intended for Porzondik. Porzondik gets it, moves it up to Ritter, but it hopped over his stick and will come out. 2:16 to go. Intercepted pass. Here's Hines over the line. Hines steps in, fires a shot wide. Rebound, caromed off the end wall. And Joel Drucker is able to hold on with 2:08 to go here in the third. Very stop and start here in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, right now, Reagan, Joel has had a pretty tame game we've talked about, right? But he's seen some action here in the last 7 or so minutes. Let in one goal, but he's had solid control. The question will be, too, about his rebound control. I think that's one thing head coach Tyler Cataline's looking for more than anything is the control and poise, right? In a big game like this, obviously the nerves aren't as high, but for a player like Joel, that's definitely an impressive feat still. A solid outing for him. I think this will give him somewhat of a case for that starting goaltender spot.
And you know what, Devin? This is a very similar game to the one that Joel Drucker last played in last year against Michigan Flint. Chippewas won 10-3. Drucker came in relief, played the final 40 minutes after the Chippewas took Thomas Rofe out. And also that looked out. Here's Andrew Porzondik, pokes the puck free, and he's in all alone. Porzondik in, fires and scores. Make it 13. A baker's dozen on the board for CMU. Porzondik's got his first of the year, and they're up 13-2.
Chippewas lost the face-off draw, but Porzondik said, I'm going to turn on the boosters. Past the blue line, past the red line, got past all the defenders with that speed he's so notably known for, and makes this one another goal for him, and that was an impressive one for sure, using the speed there and the quick finishing ability.
Hey, sniped that one. Now look out. Here's Isaac Gibbs in with a shot. Blocked it off the end boards. Anderson gets it, tries to clear it for the Lakers, and eventually it's kept in there by Connor Morgan, the right point. 1:27 to go here in period 3. Central Michigan up by 11, 13-2 here on the night of their home opener, the last evening in September. And all in all, a pretty good September for Central Michigan, although they've played not a ton. There's Morgan taking out Anderson right in front of us here. 1:07 to go here in period 3. Poked free in the defensive end. Hayden Flynn picks it up. He's got Austin Ritter, but pass was intercepted there by French. Under a minute to go here in period 3. CMU is going to walk out of here with a victory and turn around and hope to duplicate the result tomorrow afternoon. This one goes up, hits the rafters after Austin Ritter tried to flip it down. One thing we haven't seen much come into play today are those rafters, relatively low hanging here at Martin Ice Arena compared to other rinks that will be at later this year, such as Arrington Ice Arena in Trine, or later this week at Munn Ice Arena for the D2 women's team, home of the Michigan State Spartans NCAA program. 35 seconds to go here. CMU has had contributors all over the ice here tonight. Haven't seen a ton out of Andrew Miller, but he's on the ice here in the final minute. Around behind the net, Stephen Hines for the Lakers. Trying to get out here. Got under a quarter of a minute to go. Here's Soraki. Scored his first goal as a Chippewa earlier tonight, back in that second period. He will enter the zone down the left side, cut into the slot, and he will not be able to get a shot off before time expires. Central Michigan wins in resounding fashion here against the Lakers and will turn around to face the same team later tomorrow afternoon. We'll step aside. We will be right back with the post-game report brought to you by Optimex Sports here on CCHN. 13 to the final from Martin Ice Arena. We'll be right back with more here from Mount Pleasant.
now.
We're back here inside Martin Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves inside the broadcast booth with Devin Sarrow for one final time as we recap this lopsided game, to say the least. CMU winning 13-2 over Lake Superior State here at Martin Ice Arena. Devin, I don't really want to go through game by game. That's going to take way too long, and we'll end up being on the air after midnight here. But your general thoughts from the game here?
Excellent on all fronts for the Chippewas, obviously. They dominated the forecheck from start to finish. Had 4 goals in the first, 7 in the second, and capped it off with 2 more in the third. So you had to be impressed by the forecheck. Top scorers shining. Isaac Gibbs, 4 goals on the night. Nathan Bottles had a couple as well. The defensive group played well as well. I was really impressed by Andrew Soraki and Brandon Clements, notably. Clements didn't have a goal or point tonight unofficially, but he played really well on all fronts, was poised defensively when it needed to be, and Soraki, his first goal as a CMU Chippewa. So this is one to take away for sure, and look at it as maybe that competitive practice, as we talked about, as Chippewas outmanned the Lake Superior State Lakers and come out of here with the win.
A very good game for CMU here tonight. And you talk about Isaac Gibbs getting a lot of goals on the score sheet tonight. He's solidifying really early the title he took last year as leading scorer for Central Michigan. It'll be interesting to see if anybody can catch up to him. My only thought right now would be maybe Nathan Bottles, if he can keep scoring at the pace that he's scoring now. But Isaac Gibbs dominating on the score sheet, not only last week with 2 goals. With a goal and 2 assists against Ferris State, and here tonight, uncountable goals, at least right now. We lost track. I don't think you even want to see my score sheet from tonight. Lost like 4 different goals, and I think it is what it is when you get a combined 15 goals here tonight at Martin
look at the
Ice Arena.
scatterbrain going, folks. I mean, you got to keep it track as it is.
Yeah, you expect either of us to keep track of 15 goals?
No, unless Derek over here can. But I mean, it's already enough running the 1s and 2s on the sticks. There he is, the star goaltender of tonight, Joel Drucker over here. What do we say we pass off the headset to him for a little bit?
Go ahead and pass off
over here,
well,
Joel.
Well, he can't really come over.
He's got to step on it with
on.
a glass. Hey, where's the skate blades at, huh? It's all right. It's all plastic.
Lean over if you can.
I'm going to get right about here.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
Am I obscured or no?
Yeah, if you're obscured, we can't really help it. Folks, everybody, this is Joel Drucker, starting netminder for Central Michigan here tonight. Joel, how does it feel to get your first win as a Chippewa?
It feels great. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad it came at a time like this. This is beginning of the season. It's great momentum build. It's a great momentum builder, that's for sure. We only go up from here.
It was great to see after spending so much time up in the broadcast booth with us last season.
Yeah.
It's great getting to see you out there making saves and keeping Central Michigan ahead a lot here. And there we go. That might get you in the frame a little bit better.
There we go. Yep.
A position you're probably really familiar with.
Yeah, although I don't think this is the best way to do it, though.
I don't think as well. Well, what do you think was the hardest part for you tonight, especially with your team up 11 at some points? How do you keep yourself mentally tuned into the game?
So I'm sure you guys noticed how I was moving around every whistle. Every now and then I would just step out of my net, take a quick little half a lap around. That's just to keep myself awake, because if I stay in my net for too long, I'm going to just fall asleep. Thanks, bud.
Andrew Porzanik off screen. Congratulating
Joel
Drucker.
As I was saying, it's to just keep myself in the game and keep myself focused, and I don't want to fall asleep and miss something.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, it is late game.
It is late.
9 o'clock games are hard, and Joel Drucker will let you go get undressed and get going on your way. Get rested before tomorrow's game at 1. Joel Drucker, everybody, getting his first collegiate win here for Central Michigan. And we'll get Devin back on the headset and continue our recap.
Whoa, did we get that?
Joel falling off.
Man, he went over. Up and over. Boy, that's a big boy. He'll be all right.
Indeed.
I can feel the lettuce still on my head when it comes off the headset. And the locks are out for sure.
Joel Drucker, everybody, getting his first win in a Central Michigan uniform. Congratulations to him. It's been a long time coming. We've
Absolutely.
had him up in the broadcast booth multiple times. He's acted as a fill-in color commentator. It's really good to get to see him get his first win in a maroon and gold sweater. Devin, let's take a look at our players to watch here.
Yeah, Isaac Gibbs was one of our players to watch. 4 goals in the night, as we mentioned. Joel Drucker with the win here tonight, 13-2. Pretty solid night overall as you talked to him. You know, I thought he was poised, especially late in the third when Lake Superior had some momentum. We got some shots on him. He was excellent for Lake Superior State. Hines and Hemer, pretty much a pretty quiet night for them, obviously, but you know, you have to build momentum on that as leaders of that team. So we'll see them again tomorrow in less than a 13-hour turnaround. As for our keys to the game, pretty much all boxes checked on this one. I said the Chippewas needed to spread the wealth of the puck. They did that as well. Defensemen scored. The top forwards scored. The fourth line was involved when it needed to be. Hayden Flynn almost scored. It's that kind of mentality that has to keep them forward. Trusting the goaltender, Joel Drucker came up big when they needed to and got them to win. And they didn't underestimate Lake Superior. They didn't settle down late in that third. They kept the momentum up. They kept the pressure on. And that's more important not just for this opponent, but the future. Developing their game, their chemistry, the sort of style of play that they want to develop. Early in a year like this, you want to have foundations to build back on when you go up against those tougher opponents. This was a game where they have a lot of momentum to build off of. They have a lot of stuff they're going to go back and talk about. That second line, notably, Jay Nadeau, Bottles, and Keelan. I thought Keelan played excellent on that second line for his first start in that. We'll see how that group develops, and overall, it was the Chippewas night. So
certainly it was. Again, the final 13-2 here from Martin Ice Arena. 3 stars of the game. We'll start with star number 3, Andrew Porzondik with the goal. He was all over the ice tonight here, Devin. Is not only with that goal, but he made his presence known all over the ice.
Whoa, that was a pop and a half circumstance, wasn't it? Boy. Yeah, goal late in this one, scored the final one in tally. I thought it was actually a pretty quiet night for Porzondik. I didn't see him much out on the ice, especially in that second period. A little interesting to see what that dynamic might be about. But nonetheless, gets a goal, our second star of the night, Andrew Soraki. His first goal as a CMU Chippewa, the freshman from Northville, going back to play defense in place of the injured Braden Kielb. He gets his first goal and a nice tally for him. Reagan, our first star of the night, none other than Isaac Gibbs, clearly 4 goals on the night. Extending his point lead and his goal lead that he so notably led all of last year with. So our 3 stars of the night here.
Yeah, 3 stars of the game. Again, Gibbs, Soraki, and Porzondik going down 1, 2, 3. Our Light the Lamp. Mine did pretty well, Isaac Gibbs, with...
Boy, did it. Oh,
we don't know how
yikes.
many points as of yet. We don't know assists. We don't know.
Hard to track.
So he's he had 4 goals on the night, so that gives me at least 8 points. Joe had Nathan Bottles. He had 2 goals, so that gives him 4. That brings him tied with you, that brings him within 2 of you, as you got 2 tonight.
Are you sure? How confident are you he's within 2? Because we just talked about we don't even know what the score sheet was.
Because you had 4 last week, at least. And then today you had 2, so that puts you up to 6. Joe didn't have anything last week, so he's...
Fair enough.
Preliminarily,
we were very
6-4.
unoriginal. We all picked the same 3 players, just in different orders. I mean, there was no originality to this Light the Lamp at all. It worked out for you. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
You got 2 points. Joe's got 4.
Look, I still need the steak dinner before we can keep talking, all right? I still need the dinner, all right? So call me when you're ready for that, all right?
This will be all year, folks. Next game's on the slate for both of these 2 teams, and they'll be back in action tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. We'll have a 1:05 broadcast time for you here from Martin Ice Arena. Out-of-town scoreboard again. The Griffins back in action September 14th to start or October 14th to start their season. The Spirit in action tomorrow against the Storm, and the Red Wings losing tonight 2-0 against Washington. One other note, Central Michigan Chippewas D2 women's team will be in action tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Derek Steele and Matthew Ritter, our production crew here tonight, will have the call for you on that one tomorrow starting at 7. Again, we'd like to thank both Derek and Matthew for helping us out, doing a great job producing the game here tonight. And we also like to thank MHTV at Central Michigan University lending us the camera and all the equipment that we use here tonight. Well, that will just about do it for us here from Martin Ice Arena, but we will be back bright and early tomorrow with a 1:30 puck drop when the Chippewas and Lakers conclude their weekend series here from Martin Ice Arena. Until then, this is Reagan Cleaves, Fort Evans, Sarah, and everybody else here at CCHN saying so long from Martin Ice Arena in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, as the Central Michigan Chippewas sink the Lake Superior State Lakers by a final score of 13-2. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful night, everybody.